Hey guys, so exciting news. We finally have Domain Cigars, the highly anticipated company by Daniel Lance here and Esteban Disla. So many of you around familiar who hang out in here in Kansas City and this Kansas City cigar scene are familiar with Daniel Lance over the last many years. He's created one of the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest cutter in the cigar world, the BTX from Lujo Concepts, and now he's bringing to us a fantastic line of cigars. So I'm going to give it over to Daniel Lance here, and we're going to run through some of the sizes. He can give a little blend breakdown and give us a little debriefing on what's all in store for us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us. Thanks for bringing in the product. Very generous. We should probably talk about our background first.
Yeah, okay.
We actually worked behind the counter together at a cigar shop that he now owns. So this is a little bit of a...
This is true.
This is kind of cosmic, actually.
It is.
We both worked behind the counter at a cigar shop that he now owns, which is called Fidel's.
Yes.
The name needs some work, but
working on it.
It's an iconic cigar shop in Westport, Kansas. I worked there for
Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. And I worked there with Ben on his first day. We had a heck of a laugh the first time that we ever worked together, and
yes.
The good times have kept rolling. So we, didn't ever collaborate on the idea of like starting a cigar company in any way. Ben or I never had this in my future vision. Whenever I moved to Nicaragua 5 years ago, I really moved there because I was a junkie that moved to the poppy field. I became really good friends with Esteban Disla. Great family, really strong family that lives in Nicaragua. They're originally from the Dominican Republic. We put together Domain Cigars after he parted ways with a factory that he helped found. That was a factory called Nicasueño. We started our factory, which you can see on the bottom of the cigar here with the box, which is Tabacalera family in Disla. We've been growing tobacco for 5 years now. The process that we use is called Despinique process for the cultivation of our tobacco. That has a lot to do with the fermentation, giving us a really unique flavor profile in cigars. It's really common for people. You've been smoking the cigars, getting a sneak peek as we've been building the company over the last 2 years, thereabout. What are your thoughts whenever you smoke through the line?
It's been so fun to be able to smoke these over the last year and watch them come to shelf readiness, because they've always been kick-ass. And every time you come back from Nicaragua, they get that much better and that much better. And so I've finally been able to smoke some production release, and they're phenomenal. I mean, some people might be surprised from what they're experiencing. People who may be used to certain things that Disla's made in the past, but this is the nuances and the flavor depict quality tobacco. And anybody who has a palate for quality tobacco and the subtle nuances are going to have a heyday with these cigars. That's what I think about.
I mean, you have to have a passion for tobacco, for cigars, to even, think of starting a cigar brand. It takes many years of tobacco growth. Right now, we cultivate about 300,000 pounds of tobacco per year. We got about 1.5 million pounds of tobacco under management. Whenever I say under management, I mean we actually own the crops, we own the Polones, we own the Polone facility, we own the factory, we own the brand. So that has a bandwidth for us of about 3 million or so cigars a year. That's what we're kind of limited to. So it's super important for me to bring it into high quality retailers, to mid-enterprise retailers like yourself that are always looking for cutting edge products, always looking for an opportunity to move the conversation around what type of flavor profile a cigar can actually offer in the market. So between the two different blends, we have, start with New Gentropy. New Gentropy is defining from low energy to high, and it's actually a scientific term. that we put on this cigar, but that's what I'm smoking right now. I'm smoking the neuroplasticity size of the cigar, which is a 60 by 4.5 here. so they don't. I
don't know what happens to them.
Sometimes they disappear, but no. So what we've done is we put together a really nice presentation for the cigars. These would be a fantastic special gift for someone, especially someone that is a big fan of Esteban's work. If you look at the opposite side of the box lid here, we have some of the blending and tasting notes. This guy's master tobacconist thing here. I don't really call myself a master or anything, but it seemed right for the marketing aspect of this. But Esteban is without a doubt a master in what he does in tobacco, and this box is actually pretty fascinating in design because we actually worked with Boveda. We put Boveda on all of our boxes. It's the first integrated branding that Boveda has ever done, where we actually collaborated with them heavily on not only the position, but how we're folding the pack, and we put it in a very nice envelope. I'm happy to say we actually weighed these. We had Mike Staus here from Boveda. We actually weighed these Boveda packs whenever we got them in. We lost 1 gram on the entire journey here. So one gram. So the box,
efficient, very efficient.
The box performed exceptionally well. And that was something that we were, of course, concerned about. It's a bummer whenever you get in great cigars and you have to wait a really long time to smoke them. And I know we used to do that all the time back in the day. We'd get in an order, set them back for a month or so, and wait for them to come around.
I mean, we still here. We generally exercise a dry boxing, of at least 1 or 2 days before we reacclimate them, and then if they're not smoking right, we'll put them away for a week or 2 and try them again. But yeah, no, you're right. It's a common thing you got to battle. So this is great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Neutron. Neutron's very fast.
Hey, you guys, I can't wait for you to get your hands on these and literally feel this.
Feel the labels.
The labels. It's just
they are.
They are just so impressive in themselves before you even get to the cigar.
Yeah, they are very, very nice labels. Yeah, absolutely. And Neutron defines a piece of a particle that actually reorients energy around it. And this is a really good name for this blend because it's a medium body Mexican San Andreas. You don't often come across medium body Mexican San Andreas. It oftentimes ends up being medium full or full bodied in nature. And working with Esteban, I wanted him to put our Mexican San Andreas project into that medium bodied zone and actually be able to pull out areas of the flavor wheel that we just haven't had access to in a long time. And uniquely through how we're actually able to cultivate the tobacco, put the tobacco in pilones ourselves, and we grow about 17 different varietals today. He went back through 5+ years of tobacco growth and actually hand selected the tobacco that goes in this. The wrapper is actually provided by Gilberto Oliva from Tinixa. You want to open that up? Yeah. And he's going to split open the label. So what's unique about this, a lot of times whenever you look at a cigar box, it has multiple stickers over the sides and stuff. I wanted a single kind of concise sticker to be able to split open, to not have a whole lot impeding you getting the box open, and then to also have that beautiful presentation whenever you open it up.
So if I can stay on the line. There we go.
He's got the most dangerously large knife.
La Cultura blade.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that's how they come packaged, dressed. Yeah, your beautiful little domain tab here.
Yeah, so we call that the bridge, and this is actually a keepsake for you. If you're a big fan of the cigar, you can hold on to this. It has the size of the cigar that you smoked on the opposite side here. So if you purchase a box of these, I always used to hold on to the boxes. It gets in the way after a while, so this is a much nicer way to remember the cigars by. I'm pulling one of these out. You can see this beautiful wrapper that we have on here from Tinixa, Roberto Oliva.
Turn around and show these labels too. I mean, I know a lot of thought went into these labels. I mean, nice big clear labels, beautiful UPC, very legible, very retail friendly, honestly. From the size of the box, the invoicing, the other retailers out there, you're looking at this, these are your best friends to bring into your store, for real.
For sure.
It's been Michaela even told us yesterday, we already told Lance, but she even said it was a seamless process for receiving and getting items onto the website. So.
You actually helped a lot with that, so I'm not going to take all the credit for this. So, yeah. So, I mean, we worked with multiple retailers, particularly Ben gave us a lot of feedback about, what does it look like today, 2024, ingressing product into a cigar shop? How seamless can we make that? But what I would point your attention to on the cigars is at the back, you have a QR code on the back of the UPC. And whenever you scan that QR code, it takes you straight to a website that is going to give you additional details. And we have my face there, actually.
Wonderful videos too, actually. You should give them a watch.
Giving you some more details about the cigar, about the blend, and how it came to be. We didn't have anyone else that was better looking that spoke English at the factory that day, so you got to deal with me. But yeah, so it's been fantastic building this brand. One of the things that you'll notice is behind us, you see all of these sizes. We have 9 different standard sizes. The reason for that is we wanted something that was going to be close to what you're used to already smoking. It's unique whenever you're vertically integrated from the jump, where you can actually come out with all these different sizes, and it lowers the actual complexity whenever you are completely vertically integrated. It is, of course, additional packaging and so on, but we wanted the discerning cigar smoker to have something as unique or uniquely close to the profile that they're used to smoking, right? So you can assert the cigar and review the cigar in such a way that it isn't forcing you into Robusto only or Toro only. We have about 5 sizes that are traditional classic old world sizes. Those are old world sizes are actually catalog number sizes. So a number 4 Robusto is actually going to be a 50 by 5. And then when we go into new world sizes, like what I'm smoking here with neuroplasticity, neuroplasticity is 4.5 by 60. We call it neuroplasticity because that's the creating of new neural pathways in the brain. And a lot of people that are seasoned cigar smokers, they'll maybe not be so fond of like 6 by 60s, and then maybe think that that's like too large of a ring gauge, but there are several phenomenal 6 by 60s out there. But a 4.5 box press doesn't feel that intimidating to us very seasoned cigar smokers. So we named this blend Neuroplasticity because we feel like it's going to be a gateway into you smoking some of these fantastic new world, larger ring gauge cigars. And we also, another great thing about these cigars is we ratio blend the entire line. So what that means is a lot of people, particularly Dominican cigars, you'll see this a lot more in Dominican cigars, what they'll do is they'll adjust the blend for flavor profile and complexity across each size. Okay, what's distinct about what Esteban does whenever he puts together multiple sizes is he ratio blends the size. It's much more challenging to ratio blend the sizes, but what that allows you to do is actually smoke through the entire line. And if you like the black pepper footnotes that you get from New Gentropy, if you like kind of more the vanilla kind of sweetness that you get from Neutron, you'll see that expression change in each different size. So every time you pick up a different size, you're actually exploring a slightly different cigar.
Right, so they're not blended to be and taste the same throughout each size, right?
No,
they're supposed to exemplify certain points of the tobacco. You get a different experience with each size.
Yeah, absolutely. It's made in such a way that as you're smoking through the entire catalog, you're going to be tasting different nuances in each cigar, and it always leaves you something new to try inside of the Domain lineup. And that's something I wish more people were doing that. There's definitely certain cigars where that one flavor note that you want to grab, but it kind of comes in and out of that blend. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so that if you find that, you might find that in a size that you would never typically gravitate towards, but you might find that inside of one of our New World or Old World different sizes. So that's the reason for all of the different sizes. It looks like a pretty large, intimidating group of sizes, but whenever you actually run through the different gamuts of ring gauge, and even with our Bellicoso, we did a traditional Bellicoso with a 54 by 5, extra shaggy foot. We call that His Excellency. We might want to actually open that one.
Yeah,
up.
no, yeah, I do actually want to show
We should.
All right, so this is His Excellency, what Daniel was just talking about. Little bellicoso, shaggy foot. And this I have had the pleasure of smoking, and it is probably the most fun shaggy, the most complex transition that I've ever experienced out of the different shaggies that I've smoked. I mean, it really is. You get up there, that transition wows you with an overload of flavors, and then goes back to just rich, sweet notes. All right, so here is a Robusto Gordo 5x56 in the Neutron blend, which is the San Andreas. This is kind of like my go-to size. That or what you're smoking at 4.5x60. 4.5, right?
Yeah, 4.5 by 60.
Yeah, so this one here, the 5x56, I've yet to smoke that. So, what are some of your? Give us just a quick rundown on some of your sizes. You have all sorts. You pretty much got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So again, old world sizes. So of course we have Toro, Robusto Extra. Robusto Gordo is an old world size actually, and box press correlation is one of those that I'm waiting to be called out on this one because so correlation is a box press. It's a 56 by 5 box press. It was originally supposed to be a 58, and then Esteban tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "You know how hard it is to find 58 molds?" So what we actually had to do is we had to come up with a box press ratio for how figured we want box press to be. So correlation, it is a direct correlation to the cigar that he's smoking here. What you notice with a box press is you get a little bit more airflow, and we don't do a heavily figured box press. So this is Parejo, or just a round cigar with a regular finish cap. Now, a box press version of that, you're going to get a little bit more aeration of the blend, so it does actually smoke a little bit different. You're going to get a little bit different airflow through the cigar. The filtration is going to be a little bit different in the corners of the cigar, and that will change the expression. With the Robusto Gordo, one of the characteristics that I notice whenever I'm smoking that cigar is I get more of the nutty
Super nuts. Handful of nuts right there, for real.
Yeah, I get more of the nutty aspects.
I mean, mouthful of nuts.
I don't want to say it's something that not mouthful of nuts, but
I got my tongue tied. This thing is so good. Mouthful of nuts.
Mouthful of nuts. Now, whenever we wrote out the character, right? So whenever we're describing a cigar, a lot of times we use flavor, which is a really good guiding point to kind of give people a suggestion as to how the cigar might smoke for them. When you ratio blend a cigar, sometimes you end up, lowering or upping these different characteristics, right, across the different sizes. And that's where correlation is going to smoke much different from a, regular Robusto Gordo that he's smoking now.
The construction's phenomenal.
Yeah. So, quick note about construction in our...
It's just phenomenal. I mean, it's perfect build. Solid, easy draw, effortless draw. Great smoke output.
Yeah, so we've been building the factory for over 2 years now, and we wanted all of our rollers to be first right capable. So what that means is the first right, much like a symphony, first left is the violinist, that's the leader of the symphony, right? They're the one that sets the harmony. And in a cigar factory, first right in Nicaragua always sets the rhythm. So you always put your best rollers, torcedores and buncheros first right. So we wanted all of our pairs to be first right capable. And you need that for skill, because of course we have a lot of tobacco to work on. But we wanted all 3 pairs that we started with. So we started with 3 pairs, which they've been rolling consistently now for more than a year as we've been laying down the tobacco, aging the tobacco in our aging room, doing it all right from the beginning. But all of that experience combined, the average tenure of our buncheros and our torcedores today is more than 20 years. With
Wow.
Sylvia on our team, which is our third pair, she came to us from another very notorious factory. She's been working with Esteban for more than 25 years. She has 38 years of rolling cigars. And she can sit here and hold a conversation with you and put together some of the most magical, complex stuff. And that really this cigar here. Let's see, this one here, which is the His Excellency. This is a really great expression of needing a torcedor and a bunchero to be able to work together, because the torcedor has to have been a buncher before in order to execute this cigar, because the cigar is actually not finished whenever they receive it. A lot of times whenever we're bunching and we put the cigars in molds, the cigars are mostly finished. They just have to have the wrapper put on the cigar. In the case of this cigar, they actually have to have both the binders put on the cigar, because they're not binder finished in order to have that bunching. Yeah, so you actually have to roll in tabata without a binder, and then the binder has to be finished by the torcedor.
Wow.
Right? So the two of those team members, whenever we're putting together these cigars, they have to work together in conjunction. And the way that works out is, every afternoon, all of the pairs that aren't rolling this cigar stop by that rolling table and pay attention to the work that they're doing, and then they try those different pairs. And then Esteban does a torture test with them at the end of the day after they've tried a couple of these cigars, rolling them. He'll actually have them roll this cigar together. They'll put together maybe 20 or 30 of these cigars just for us to smoke and try. And then we actually will then knock them all the way down to about 46 ring gauge. So we'll take the buncher after they've put this cigar together, knock them down to about a 46 ring gauge for another 30 or 40 cigars. So the actual production output on these is less than 200 a day for that grouping, just because of the details that need to be done. And then everyone who rolls these, they also have to be able to prove the discipline of ratio blending all the way down to a 46, which we don't even make today. Wow. And the reason for that torturous activity is we want to make sure that they're able to consistently put together a cigar that has really solid bunching and airflow at a really, really small ring gauge. Whenever you put this together, the cigar barely wants to stay together. You have to use wood molds in order to do this. That's another really unique detail. A lot of people would prefer to use plastic molds and so on, but the wood mold actually helps extract humidity out of the surface of the tobacco, which makes it pliable enough that they can actually finish the binder and wrapper on the cigar. So there's little things like that that happen whenever you put together a line like this, and I only have learned all of this fairly recently from the Disla family. I'm still learning. I would say that I've been consistently a student of this for a very long time. And I never envisioned putting together a brand. We never talked about ever putting together a cigar company, because people that put together really fantastic, delicious cigars generally are never available. And when Esteban, chose me for this project, he had a lot of really good offers from great people in the industry. But he chose me because actually of my retail experience and relationships with people like Ben. So a lot of my building of domain has been heavily dependent on a lot of my friends. So you see little pieces of friends of mine that I've worked with over the years and comments that they've made about, we wish someone would do this, we wish someone would do that. And I've tried to actually build a lot of that into this. So if he sounds like a fanboy at any time, a lot of it's actually because it's things that are that have been recommendations of his over so many years that I've always just remembered. And hey, I've never really seen anyone do that. And when a new cigar line comes out, it kills me that a lot of times the line is only in Toro, only in Robusto. And frankly, a lot of times I find myself smoking a lot of New World sizes, right? Very often, because I want those big, bold, rich flavors. And they come through in our cigars in those blends because of Esteban. But whenever I'm really trying to critique a cigar, I want something that is fairly similar to what I'm already used to smoking. So that's what we've tried to do with this line. We hope you love them.
Yeah, fantastic job, man. Fantastic. So, they're online. You can buy them individually. You can buy them by the box. Yeah, come get them. They're great. That's gonna be